Welcome to NEXTGames' Intense Ambuscade series, December 2022, against meebles. Now we last saw this run in April 2021, and this time around they've changed a few things and I've altered my strategy a little to make it easier than before. First, I'll go over key item acquisition, and then I'll show you a battle example of me taking it on with Ninja, showing you the solo strategy on easy that I recommend. I'll also go over some party strategies for those wanting to take this on the harder difficulties this month. First, let's start with key item acquisition. You will need 1 worm kill for your first run of the day, and 3 worm kills for multiple runs in that same day. Now my favorite spot to go to for them is the Den of Rancor home point number 1, as you can also get the volume 2 key item off the bats that spawn right along with the worms. You can also find them in Esha Zita at portal number 3. Now in regards to the run itself, it is against a single meeble burrow named Bozetto Breadwinner, who is a monk, but he also has a number of adds that he can call into his service that we will need to contend with as well. There are up to 4 Bozetto urchins that are roaming on the map, and if he happens to use a warble ability when they are within a certain range, the ones within that range will be called to his aid. Now the adds can be quite strong and can use 100 Fist as well as Soul Eater, so you want to dispatch with them quickly if they are spawned. They can be slept for only short periods of time though, as the next warble ability that is used will wake them. Now they have 66% less hit points this time than they did the last time we saw this run, so they should be easier to take care of if spawned. However, if you just silence the Bozetto Breadwinner, then the range that he can use to summon these urchins adds is significantly reduced. Therefore, if you are solo and taking it on, make sure you sub Red Mage or another job capable of silencing the meeble, and if you are taking this on at the very difficult difficulty, make sure you have a good enfeebler that can land silence to negate these adds from even spawning. Next, there is a Bozetto Housemaker in the far corner of the map. Now at seemingly random periods of time, he will run from wherever he's at to charge at the party. When he is within range of whoever it is he's charging at, he's going to use an ability called Earthshaker that deals 1000 damage per player hit to all the players in range. So if 3 players are in range of his target when it goes off, all 3 of them will receive 3000 damage and more than likely die. To combat this, you first want to manage who he's targeting. The person who he is targeting is going to be the person who has used bar spells the most. Now another benefit of bar spells is that they will combat all of the nasty effects that are landing on you when he does his meeble warbles. You always simply cast the element corresponding to the warble effect to negate its effects. So in solo runs, I recommend just keeping Barfira up, as I find it's what slows you down the most in those runs. But in most party runs, it's recommended that you designate one of your damage dealers to go with the White Mage sub-job to both be the target of hate from the Housemaker and keep the nastier effects from affecting the group. Now the amount of time it takes to ready those warbles is another change, and in all difficulties, it's now going to be 4 to 5 seconds of readying the warbles before they go off, making it easier for the person in charge of bar spells to contend with these changing warbles. Now another option, of course, will be just to have your White Mage deal with all of this, and all of the bar spells, as well as that Housemaker coming after them at random periods of time. So it's just going to depend on how your particular group wants to take this on. Now at roughly 50% health, the Breadwinner will use 100 Fist, which will last roughly 45 seconds, and during this period of time is another change that they have made, which he will now be resistant to multi-hits during his 100 Fist period. Now, this made my TP gain go down pretty dramatically, and in addition to this, he's supposed to reflect any damage done to him, and will inflict a slow that will overwrite your haste to anyone who hits him. Now, while on the easy difficulty I didn't notice the damage reflection, I did notice the slow effect land on me after a few rounds of attacks. Now, in higher difficulties, it will more than likely be far more potent, so it may be best for groups to turn during this 100 Fist period of time. Now, last time I suggested that when you're solo, you bring the meeble into a corner and fight them there, but I have changed that approach this time around. You want to put yourself in between the Housemaker and your party, so that when the Housemaker comes for you, your trusts are all out of range, making it so you don't even need to watch for him. Now, my positioning in this video shows exactly what I mean and how I suggest you set it up. Just make sure you keep silence up on the Bozetto Breadwinner at all times with this strategy. Now kills were taking me about 4 to 5 minutes on easy, but your times may vary based on gearing and the job you choose to do this with. Now, I often left shadows down to continue skill chain damage going, so the risk is largely from the ads and the housemaker here, because I never was really in any danger. Also, keep in mind that you can get 500 to 600 hallmarks from the Volume 2 Ambuscade this month in just about 2 to 3 minutes. So if you find yourself frustrated with this month's run and they're taking you up in that 10 to 15 minute range, make sure you keep that in mind, as you can get just as much by just spamming those Volume 2 runs this month. Now, in a party setup, the fastest runs being reported are usually with a Rune Fencer who can deal a good amount of damage, a Geo, Bard, Healer, and 2 good damage dealers, though you can always sub in other jobs for slightly slower kill times. That's about all the information I have to share for this month's run. I hope you found that helpful. If this happens to be your first visit to my channel and you enjoyed the content, please be sure to click on the subscribe button under the video and the bell icon next to it to be notified when my future videos are released. That's going to be it for this month. We'll see you next month, everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy out there.